This is your news source evening bulletin for today, Friday, the 10th day of May in the year 2024. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting, and here's what we're tracking tonight. Leader of the opposition, Aubrey Norton, today said the residents in Plainville Sophia are fearful that their lands may be seized by the government under the pretext that the area is needed for the construction of a new road. Already a number of their homes have been demolished. At a press conference today, the opposition leader said during a recent visit to the Plainville Sophia area, residents complained that the Ministry of Housing, supported by the police, visited their community and demolished a number of buildings. He said the residents are calling on the government to engage them and find solutions to their problems.
The residents have no objections, since they believe that there is adequate space for the construction of the road. They are worried that the government is moving them, and that after the construction of the road, they can allocate the lands to their families, friends, and favorites.
The opposition leader also said the issue confronting the people of Plainville Sophia is reflective of a similar issue that confronted the people of Mucka, Arcadia in January of last year, when their homes were bulldozed by the Housing Ministry with support from the police to allow for the construction of a road. At the time, the government had contended that many of the houses in Mucka were in the path of the road. But Norton said now that the road is completed, it is clear that the residents were not in any path of that roadway.
Having destroyed the residents of Mucka properties and the road is now completed, it is clear that the residents were not in the path of the road. More importantly, in the same path that government contended that the road was passing, one is now seen just before Mucka the construction of a fence encompassing lands that are in line with the lands from which the residents of Mucka were evicted.
The opposition leader said the government must not continue down the road of what he sees as vindictive and discriminatory. More news coming up in just a moment.
It's one of your biggest goals, getting your own home, where memories are made, where happiness lives. You may feel that home ownership or renovation is beyond your reach, but we at Republic want you to know that there's always a way. Ask us about our suite of mortgages. Let's help make your housing wishes come true, or advise on how the equity in your existing home can finance other dreams and goals. Call or go online to learn more.
Love knows no boundaries of time. It transcends the ages, forever etching its mark on our hearts. Super Stylistics, in collaboration with the Ministry of Culture, Youth and Sport and the Government of Guyana, present Timeless Love, the 31st production of the Mother and Daughter Pageant 2024 at the National Cultural Center, a celebration of a unique family bond and flawless, flamboyant fashion. Glitz, glamour, and grand giveaways for lucky patrons too at the 2024 Mother and Daughter Pageant, National Cultural Center, May 11 from 20 hours, preluded by red carpet. Tickets $655 and $5,000. It's Timeless Love.
A former official of the current government is facing allegations of rape and sexual assault by a woman who says she worked at a government agency that person was in charge of. At a virtual press conference today, a former government employee chronicled details of an alleged rape and sexual assault involving the former government official. The woman held a press conference to announce that she has filed a full police complaint and is looking forward to a thorough investigation and justice. News source made repeated efforts to get a comment from the government official today, but calls to his mobile phone numbers were unanswered. The Guyana Police Force also did not offer any comment on the complaint. The woman told the media today that she has filed reports to the police on 2 alleged incidents of sexual assault and rape in 2020 and 2021. She claimed that during a conversation with a then government official at the Anna Regina State House, she was grabbed by him and taken to a room where she claims a sexual assault took place. She also claimed that she was held against her will and sexually assaulted, even as she tried to fight the official off. The young woman said during the ordeal she was asked to perform sexual acts but refused. She said she just wanted to leave the building. She also said the second alleged incident took place in 2021 at a house where it is believed the official was living at the time. She provided details to the media about that alleged incident. According to her, she felt intimidated against filing an earlier police complaint. But now she has. A police investigation is ongoing tonight. The Ministry of Labor is in talks with the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees about a possible training program that would see Venezuelan migrants here undergoing skills training and certification. Minister of Labor Joe Hamilton made a disclosure in the National Assembly on Thursday as he responded to a series of questions posed by opposition Member of Parliament Tabitha Sarbo-Halley about the conduct of a skills audit of Venezuelan migrants in Guyana.
We are having conversation with the UNHCR for an intervention by the Board of Industrial Training paid for by the UNHCR to train Venezuelan migrants, and for those who might have a skill, to work with them to ensure that they can be accredited and certified.
Minister Hamilton said since taking office in August of 2020, the government has engaged a number of regional and international partners, including the UNHCR, the International Organization for Migration, and the International Labour Organization, on the presence of migrants here, with the aim of acquiring the requisite data and support. It was noted that while the IOM has compiled a number of reports, the Labour Ministry is still in the process of collecting data to determine with definitiveness the number of migrants present in the country, their sex and skill sets. Minister Hamilton said by the third quarter of this year, the Labour Ministry should have a preliminary report in its possession that will address the skill sets of migrants. But the opposition Member of Parliament pressed the Labour Minister for greater information, telling the House that the Ministry of Labour should be in a position to provide a proper progress report.
So at what particular stage is this process at this particular point? Because as far as I'm aware, and based on questions I've asked before, we have a sense, based on the numbers given, of how many migrants are in Guyana, so that should be dealt with. The IOM reports have been done, and I have read them, and they don't really speak to the skills of the migrants, Venezuelan migrants in Guyana, those that I have read.
However, Minister Hamilton maintained that while the International Office of Migration and other global partners have provided reports on Venezuelan migrants here, the skills audit report sought by the opposition is still a work in progress. Let's tell you now that former Minister of Finance under the APNU-AFC government, Winston Jordan, is suing the state for more than $1.2 billion over his wrongful prosecution back in 2021 and the breach of his constitutional rights. Through his attorney, Senior Counsel Roy Silford, Jordan filed 2 applications in the High Court seeking millions of dollars in damages for his wrongful prosecution over the sale of a riverfront property to BK Marine and the breach of his constitutional rights. According to the first fixed date application filed against the Attorney General, the Commander of Regional Division 4C of the Guyana Police Force, Assistant Superintendent of Police Mahendra Singh, and the Director of Public Prosecutions, the former Minister of Finance is claiming a total of $1.2 billion in damages. He's claiming damages to the tune of $300 million against the Attorney General for malicious prosecution with respect to the charge of misconduct in public office made against him in December of 2021. The charge, according to Jordan, was read to him by Singh, who at the time was attached to the Special Organized Crime Unit. He's also seeking another $300 million in damages against the Attorney General for his malicious prosecution in respect to the criminal charge of misconduct in public office, which he said was intentionally and wrongfully instituted by remand at the Georgia Magistrates Court on the 28th of December, up until the criminal charge was dismissed on the 16th of May last year. Jordan is also claiming an additional $300 million in damages for the intentional and wrongful initiation and pursuit of an application filed by the DPP seeking an order that a warrant be issued for him. Finally, he is seeking damages in the amount of $300 million for his false imprisonment and wrongful detention in December of 2021. The former finance minister is also seeking a public apology from the state for his malicious prosecution and false imprisonment. Additionally, he is seeking exemplary damages, aggravated damages, and other damages to be assessed by the court. In defending his application, the former finance minister, through his attorney, explained that after more than 2 hours of questioning in December of 2021 at Soko's office, he was charged with misconduct in public office, arrested, fingerprinted, and photographed. He was subsequently escorted by 3 Soko officers to the Sparendam police station, where an attempt was made to have him detained despite the deterioration of his health. He had been diagnosed as a diabetic at least 10 years earlier. He said the station sergeant refused to accept the claimant in a deteriorated health condition, forcing the police and Soko officers to take him to the Plaisance Health Center. However, the health center was ill-equipped and Jordan was immediately transferred to the Georgetown Hospital. It was explained that after the dismissal of the case, the Attorney General applied for an order issuing a warrant for Jordan's arrest and committal for trial in the High Court. However, the Chief Justice found that there was no evidence proffered by the state to prove that Jordan sold the property privately or illegally. It was found that the recorded minutes of cabinet meetings showed that the former minister was not acting in isolation. He said based on the evidence before the court, the respondents in the matter acted maliciously and without reasonable and probable cause that they instituted the various proceedings.
Purple Arts Productions presents A Treat for My Mother's 7 on Mother's Day, Sunday, May 12. Herbie Marshall and Strings, Barbara Lee, Leona Walton, Young Nelson, and others. Golden Jewelry for the best dressed mother in purple. 8 p.m. at the National Cultural Center. Tickets $3,000 and $2,500. Compliments NDNS Furniture Store, Noodle Cake Creations, Essential Care Pharmacy, Sunflower Jewelry, a Purple Arts Theater production.
Mobil 1 is more than oil. It's many oils. It transforms at the molecular level. When cold, it's thicker than honey. When hot, it's thinner than water. Mobil 1 adapts and readapts to last longer. 16,000 kilometers between oil changes. That's your engine evolved.
Sol Guyana is the authorized distributor of Mobil lubricants.
The opposition APNU-AFC believes the government is still ignoring the impact that a rise in the cost of living is having on citizens. At a press conference today, the economic advisor to the leader of the opposition, Nelson Lowe, said more than 3 months since the passage of this year's budget, there is still no word from the government on the $7 billion that was approved for the cost of living relief.
The Guyanese people are no longer surprised by the PPP government's heartless attitude towards alleviating the burdens and struggles of daily existence in Guyana. The government is clearly more interested in doling out funds to its cronies for contracts awarded illegally and corruptly than giving the workers of Guyana a living wage. We should recall that in the previous two budgets, the government had to be relentlessly pressured to disburse the funds for cost of living relief. When it did, it waited until the very end of the year to play PPP-style Santa Claus politics. Meanwhile, workers in Guyana continue to live in poverty.
For its part, the government has said that it has been putting a number of systems in place to address the cost of living issue while creating more jobs. But the opposition wants to see more persons benefiting directly and immediately from the approved funds.
We note that Arfan Ali is reported as promising public servants the best welfare package by 2030. When in opposition, he had pledged these benefits by 2020. Then he later said by 2025. Just 2 weeks ago, he moved his promised deadline to 2027. Now the deadline is by 2030. In the next few months, he will likely promise by 2040. Such is the deceit. Such is the disdain for workers and other common Guyanese that this government harbors. While manifesting an unwillingness to pay Guyanese workers a living wage, it is doling out to friends, families, and favorites contracts to the tune of hundreds of millions of dollars. How is it you can ask workers who lack the means to feed their families to wait until 2030, while giving those who have the means to live billions of dollars?
As Guyana gears up for national elections next year, the APNU has said that it remains committed to implementing a people-centered vision of development that puts people first. The APNU AFC has been moving through a number of communities as part of a listening tour to understand the issues facing citizens and how best those issues could be addressed. Police investigators are continuing their probe of that early Thursday morning accident that claimed the life of 33-year-old minibus driver Dioraj Baldio. The fatal crash took place at around 5:15 yesterday morning along the Orange-Stain Public Road, East Bank, Essequibo. The driver of the minibus was speeding at the time when he slammed into a wood-laden truck that had just reversed onto the roadway. An initial report by the police claimed that the truck reversed onto the roadway and collided with the front of the minibus. However, surveillance video recording which captured the accident from nearby showed the truck being reversed onto the roadway and about to straighten up when the speeding bus barreled into it. The driver of the truck was administered a breathalyzer test, but there was no trace of alcohol found in his system. The police said the minibus driver was pronounced dead at the scene. With the new video evidence being presented, investigators are now examining the recording, even as they continue to question the driver of that truck. The government used its majority to vote against an opposition motion which sought to introduce a local government commission amendment bill to allow for greater involvement in the decision-making process by local government authorities across the country. Opposition Member of Parliament Ganesh Mahipal, who presented a motion to the House a year ago, said the amendments to the Local Government Commission Act of 2023 seeks to reinforce the principles of local democracy and autonomy as enshrined in the Constitution.
Intent of the framers of this act was primarily for the Local Government Commission to oversee the procedure relating to staffing and then subsequently appointing based on a structure. What we have found, sir, with this current operations of the Local Government Commission is that they are not involving the local government authority. The local government authorities, the 70 neighborhood democratic councils and the 10 municipalities in the execution of that function to employ staff members at the respective local government authorities or local government organs.
The opposition member of parliament explained that the bill seeks to redress the critical issue by having local government organs play a greater role, by having them submit recommendations to the local government commission before a decision is made with regards to staffing. He argued that it is not the intent of the bill to usurp the authority of the commission.
Sir, the bill does not seek to take away any authority from the local government commission, for it is them who is vested with the authority to appoint, but it must be done after this meaningful consultation with the local government authority.
MP Mahipol submitted further that the proposed amendment was not in conflict with the Constitution, but Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs Anil Nandlal rejected that notion. The Attorney General told the House that the Local Government Commission Act was birthed out of the Constitution, for which Article 78A stipulates that the Commission is empowered to deal with all matters related to the regulation and staffing of local government organs as it deems fit. He said the Constitution does not provide for consultation.
This Parliament, when it passed the bill, re-registered what the Constitution emphasized. We have to follow the Constitution. We don't have a jurisdiction to depart, but Parliament overemphasized it by putting it back again in the legislation in Section 3, which says, in the exercise of its functions, whether the functions are recruiting staff, whether the functions are disciplining staff, whether the functions are overseeing the work of the Neighborhood Democratic Council and the local democratic organs, whenever it is exercising those functions, the Commission shall not be the subject to direction or control of any authority. And that is in keeping with the language. This was not necessary. This is redundant. But this House re-registered its pure position that no departure from the Constitution on this matter.
Emphasizing that a subsidiary legislation cannot contradict the Constitution, the Attorney General told the House that the amendments sought by MP Mahipol could only come by constitutional reform, and the government could not offer its support to the opposition motion.
Purple Arts Productions presents A Treat for My Mother's 7 on Mother's Day, Sunday, May 12. Sean Bullock, Bernie House, Charmaine Blackman, Ronald Green, and others. Golden jewelry for the best dressed mother in purple. 8 p.m. at the National Cultural Center. Tickets $3,000 and $2,500. Compliments of Survival Shopping Complex. The Simcoe Trading, Secure Innovations and Concept Inc. A Purple Arts Theatre production, directed by Simone Dowdy.
Look at the breathtaking beauty of the Essequibo. From its pristine rivers to its abundant resources, it's a treasure that belongs to Guyana, and we ask Venezuela to respect the rule of international law.
Our commitment to this land is not just about ownership. It's about preserving its beauty and resources for our people and future generations.
The controversy between Guyana and Venezuela was settled internationally as full, perfect, and final in 1899. Essequibo belongs to Guyana.
Guyana's economy is rapidly transforming, and we're all part of it. Guyoil is at the forefront of this development by providing reliable and efficient energy and supporting community development from the very core. 100% of Guyoil's profit goes back to building schools, roads, and other important infrastructure that connects our cities and towns, providing fuel to domestic, marine, industrial, and aerial transportation. Guyoil has now repositioned itself as a market leader in the petroleum industry, building a better future for all of us. It's one of your biggest goals, getting your own home, where memories are made, where happiness lives. You may feel that home ownership or renovation is beyond your reach, but we at Republic want you to know that there's always a way. Ask us about our suite of mortgages. Let's help make your housing wishes come true. Or advise on how the equity in your existing home can finance other dreams and goals. Call or go online to learn more.
Holiday spending put a dent in your cash. Top up your pockets in the Cash Splash promotion. Win over $5 million, including over $1 million in our weekly draws. Just purchase any Buster, Turbo, Fruiter, school kids or Viva, look for the 8-digit code starting with 786. Then visit Facebook or IG at Buster Guyana or Turbo_Caribbean for more details.
Across the region tonight, Belize, Jamaica, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines are the latest countries in the Americas to receive certification from the World Health Organization for eliminating the mother-to-child transmission of HIV and syphilis. The milestone was marked earlier this week at a commemorative event organized by the Pan American Health Organization in Jamaica, with support from UNICEF and UNAIDS, and with the participation of health ministers from the three countries. PAHO Director Dr. Jarbas Barbosa said the achievement is a testament to years of dedication, hard work, and collaboration among governments, health professionals, and communities. He also acknowledged the remarkable resilience displayed by the three countries, ensuring the adaptation and continuation of essential services despite the challenges posed by the COVID-19 pandemic. In 2010, countries of the Americas committed to the elimination of mother-to-child transmission of HIV and syphilis and endorsed the regional strategy, which was updated in 2016 under PAHO Plan of Action for the Prevention and Control of HIV and Sexually Transmitted Infections. St. Kitts and Nevis has declared a 15-day gun amnesty as it attempts to tackle the proliferation of illegal firearms and ammunition on the islands. The gun amnesty goes into effect from today and will continue until the 25th of May, following the recent passage of the Firearms Amendment Bill of 2024. Speaking in the Parliament, Prime Minister Dr. Terence Drew said during the 15-day gun amnesty, persons will have the opportunity to turn in any illegal firearms or ammunition at any police station in St. Kitts or Nevis without the risk of being prosecuted. The Prime Minister said the illegal firearm or ammunition could also be delivered to any attorney at law who must similarly contact and then surrender the firearm and ammunition to the closest police station. Any person surrendering an illegal firearm or ammunition will not be required to disclose his or her identity or any information when doing so. In addition, no details of the person who surrendered the said firearm or ammunition shall be recorded if the person wishes to utilize the anonymous process of the firearms amnesty. And finally tonight, international news. The United Nations General Assembly has enhanced Palestine's rights within the organization and has called for it to be accepted as a member. Palestine has had non-member observer status since 2012, which allows some rights short of a full member. Membership can only be decided upon by the UN Security Council. The US recently vetoed a bid for full membership, but Friday's vote can be seen as a gesture of support for the Palestinians. Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas welcomed the resolution, saying it supported Palestinian efforts for another vote on the issue by the Security Council. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting and encouraging you to have a safe and enjoyable weekend. And happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there.